Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about the analysis of scientific literature for mapping controversies. And in this process, we identify some literature from Scopus, Web of Science, and we analyze them using Sciencescape. And we also conduct analysis in the traditional qualitative way. So the first step is to have a look at what the objective of mapping controversy is. Now, if we take from Venturini's text, one of the major contribution that we are having here is the glossary of non-controversial elements. Now, we can ask what are non-controversial because every definition seems to have many different versions, which is okay for us in this case. So we'll be taking uh, the examples or definitions from existing literature to convey about the controversy. Then we are going to make a documentation repository where we are going to put the list of references that we are including in this literature review, and those we are going to include for our meta-analysis. And the other part is a analysis of scientific literature where we shall do a thematic analysis or identify the main themes of controversy within the selected literature. If we do not find sufficient depth of the literature, at least we can say what themes they cover and which of those actually contribute to part of the uh, of our debate or if not a big controversy or so. Because in some cases, we see that it's the review of media and public opinions that hold the diversity of the controversy. So it is okay that at this stage, we do not see sufficiently many. The other main contribution that we might have from this analysis is if we find some statements where people are talking about opposing positions about decision making, then we can make a tree of disagreement. I'll try to show an example from one of the previous year's group, or you can have a look at Venturini's text. Regarding the scale of controversies, you might want to consider analyzing and visualizing the keywords using Wordle, and that the frequency of the words or the keywords will contain the scale. You can also have a chronology of dispute and diagram of actor networks. I'll try to show example here. So the stages are like this. First, we start with some keywords and search the literature. And when we identify some literature, we look for some statements that have opposing positions, and the authors of the paper, and the universities where they are located, or the countries that they represent through the universities. It can also be the conferences, the journals, even the keywords can play as a role as an actor in the network. I'll show you examples of these. Now, regarding the controversy or any communication, whether between the teacher and the student or two persons anywhere, or even in this case of mapping controversy, we need to understand that considering this Swedish sociologist who said, I do not know what I have said until you have answered, and you do not know what you have said before I have answered. So when we read the literature, the meaning making that we do, and when you further present in the website and the meaning making public or the visitors do, are not going to be same because there are two layers of translation. So just saying this, that even if you find that your sentences could not be conveyed to a member in the team, At most, what you can do is try to make a statement. If you're in agreement, then at least they should represent common understanding. So that much can be improved, but it has to be a very collegial and supportive environment when we do the mapping controversy. I'll skip this part. And this, when I show this print goals, this is talking about this 2 to 3 weeks time slot where we are taking this scientific literature analysis and the outcomes. I'm repeating: glossary of non-controversial elements, document repository, tree of disagreement, scale of controversies, diagram of actor network, the chronology of dispute, and we are also trying to make the table of cosmosis, but that will come back at a later stage. I'm not expecting right now this. However, you can keep note that we are looking for the ideologies for which people have differences in opinion. Ideologies, for example, some ideologies are rooted to uh, hu human rights, for example. Some people position themselves as a religious vocalist, as a minority supporting, as a supporter of children. So these are the ideological principles for which people differ in opinions because one prioritizes one group and the other in favor of some other. Okay, I'll